So let's Alt-Tab back over to my little text file. And the final URL here, I included for your benefit. Just again, copying and pasting it into my browser. Throughout this series, we'll be working on files on your local hard drive and using the Microsoft ASP.NET Development Server to display them the way they would display if they were on a server on the World Wide Web. I won't be covering how you actually publish a site like this because that will depend on your server, and there's so many different variables that come into play that I couldn't possibly address the specific instructions that everyone who watches this video would need. So what I'll do instead is at least point out that Microsoft does have a list of recommended service providers that have what you need on their servers. Because for these sites to work at all, you have to use a web server that supports ASP.NET and that has .NET 2.0. By the way, don't think that just because that's the first one on the list, it's the one you should use. If you refresh this page, I'm hitting the F5 key just to show you, you'll notice that they're using a random feature on their page and that they don't particularly endorse any of these sites. So I would tell you that all of these service providers meet Microsoft standards for what you need to publish your site. But before you choose one, you'd be wise to investigate what they offer and what they charge to make sure you find one that best meets your unique needs for your website. Finally, if you haven't already, I recommend that you upgrade Internet Explorer, which we will also be using quite a bit in this training, and make sure you have the latest version, at least version 7.0. And if there's a later one by the time you're looking at this series, upgrade to that and make sure that your site will work on that browser. While you're at it, get a couple other browsers, like Firefox, so that you can test your work in multiple browsers to make sure it'll work for the broadest possible audience. Okay, that should be all the setup you need to follow along with all the lessons in the rest of this series.